Obviously, you chose Auston Matthews for a reason. Tell us what your logic was behind that pick.
Well, our logic was very simple. I think that, in our opinion, he was the best player available. But not only being the best player, he satisfies a need at center and is a complete player, one who can play 200 feet. So I think when you have the ability or you have the chance of getting a player like that, it's really a no-brainer.
Brendan, just the electricity in the building tonight, the Leafs fans making the trip. How thrilling was it to be on that stage when that announcement was made?
It was very exciting, and we knew it was going to be loud. We weren't sure if it was going to be a lot of cheering or a lot of booing, and it was sort of a mix of both. And it was sort of I think a fun way for everybody that was here today to start off the draft with that kind of energy and response from the people in the audience.
Brendan, in the short time you've got to know Auston, what kind of a kid do you think he is, and is he prepared for what's ahead in terms of on the ice and the attention he'll get?
We have to remember that players of that caliber, they didn't arrive here today and suddenly get thrust into the position of being a hockey player that gets a lot of attention. Players like Auston learn how to deal with attention and pressure from the time they're, minor atoms, peewees, bantams. So you can see that he's a very mature kid. He understands how, the things that go along with playing the game. He's a respectful kid. He's obviously got a very nice family, been raised to be a gentleman. And I think more than anything, what we see when we talk to him is just someone who loves the game of hockey, who obviously had to work very hard as a youngster to find hockey, and had to really, his family had to really commit to pursue that goal. So he's impressive on a lot of fronts.
Brendan, you had a chance to unveil the new jersey tonight. What stands out about the difference seeing it in its final version now?
Well, I think one of the biggest goals was to have a very prominent crest, and we went to the NHL and we expressed to them when we were designing it that we wanted it to be a little larger than normal. I think the first one that came back, we sent it back and asked that the crest be even a little bit larger than the one that they had first sent us, the first prototype. So it's a very simple sweater where the crest, the maple leaf, our badge, is what is most prominent and most important.
For both you gentlemen, how much better are the Toronto Maple Leafs today with Auston Matthews, and is the franchise finishing last?
It's not a nice way to ask a question.
You want me to answer?
Yeah, I do want you to.
I think that today was twofold. I think this draft gave us the ability to come out of here better being up front as far as getting a talented young man who could play center, and also getting a goaltender, because it was because of this draft that we were able to get a goaltender.
Lou, there was some deals. There were some deals today, Lou. What kind of day do you anticipate tomorrow, both with your picks and what may happen?
Well, I thought that for the most part there was a lot of consensus selecting the way it went throughout the whole 30 teams. As far as what we saw a little bit going on of moving picks, I think you'll probably see some of that tomorrow because there'll be certain types of players that might be on one team's sort of priority list that is available, and they might feel as though they might lose it.
For either the two of you, was this a foregone conclusion with Auston, or how much deliberation do we actually have about which way to go with the top pick?
I don't think that that's really something that matters. No matter what, there might be or might not. We have Auston Matthews. He's the person we wanted, and he's our player.
This team seems to have a lot of stars that have been aligning the last couple of years when you look at getting the coach that you wanted, rebuilding the minor league system, now getting the first overall pick. And I'm wondering, with free agency coming up July 1st, how active do you anticipate being with some big names available?
Well, first of all, I think we've said all along, Brendan put a plan in place. We call it the Shanny Plan. And,
I believe you said that.
and
They can say it, you can't say it.
And I think what we've tried to do is stay within the framework of that, and we're not going to get off course. But if there's an opportunity to get better without interrupting that, we're going to do that. I think that's what transpired, earlier in the week. And for us not to do that, we would not be doing, what is the right thing for this franchise. But it's not going to be something that's just looked at or trying to do something for today. Every decision that's made is going to be for today, but tomorrow in sight, so that you don't lose track. We're not going to get off track, no matter what.
Just a question for both of you. What did you learn about Auston through the process that you didn't know going in?
Well, I think that I enjoyed reading more about his story of sort of the struggle of the difficulty of how to raise a young hockey player and prodigy in that region, and the challenges and the kind of support that you need from your family to do that when you're a young kid, and obviously you can't get to games and practices on your own. And so I think that was we've been watching him play hockey for several years, but when you get into this type of process and you are picking first and you dig a little deeper, it's nice to see a little bit more of the background of how he became the young man that he is.
Pardon me? Oh, same question. As Brendan said, I think that I had the opportunity to meet his mom and dad and spend a little time with his two sisters. And I think coming away from there, you felt extremely comfortable with the way he was raised, as Brendan had mentioned earlier, and how he had to go through a lot of difficulties, extenuating circumstances to become the player he is, made a lot of sacrifices. His mom going over and living with him this year, while his dad was with the two sisters. There's a commitment. There's something special in that. You go back to the roots, and whether it's a young man overcoming, something that was a tragedy, or just some overcoming hardships, that goes towards his character, and all of that added into not only that, being the exceptional player that he has been up to this point.